So in a recent CNBC article, paying down debt is Americans' top financial goal in 2025. Yeah, let's go. It's about time that we start tackling our debt. I know people still paying for socks that they bought in 2020. I mean, come on, let's get real. And recently, Bankrate did a survey where they stated 21% their financial goal is to pay down debt. 12% is saving more money for emergencies. And for some particular reason, there's some cycles out there. 11% said they have no financial goals in 2025. So first of all, if you're anyone out there that's about to pay off debt, I congratulate you. But I let you know right now, now you're excited. Now you're gonna pay off debt, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. In this video, I'm gonna give you some tips that will help you make sure you get yourself out of debt and you never get back. Trust me, I tried it and I failed in so many attempts. So many people as well have failed. And I know in this video, I'll be able to help you out. That way you don't make the same mistakes. Now, first of all, did I tell you that you're awesome? You're f***ing awesome. Trying to pay off debt is a big step that you're about to take. And the first tip I want to give you is this. Make sure you have a sufficient emergency fund. Right now, this is exactly what's going to happen. Trust me, I already know this is what's going to happen. You're going to tell someone you're about to pay off your debt. When you look online saying, hey, I'm about to pay off my debt, you're trying to find some motivation. Dave Ramsey is going to pop up. This is not a Dave Ramsey bash. I'm just giving you my experience from a lot of people who've been through his path. They struggled a bit. His first step is this, to build a $1,000 emergency fund. During these times, that doesn't fly. It doesn't fly at all. A lot of people try that. They try $1,000 and they end up going right back into debt because $1,000, you're not able to cover most expenses, especially if you're a homeowner, you have your own vehicle that's a little older, you need way more than $1,000. This is what I highly recommend for you to do. I know this video is about paying off debt, and the first thing I'm telling you is to don't worry about paying off debt. You need to build this emergency fund, and this is what you would do. Create yourself a savings challenge. Oh, trust me, that works. The reason why is because you start gamifying this. You start gamifying savings, and that is a huge advantage and a huge motivator. The one I'm currently doing as well, I always do it in the beginning of the year, I'm gonna start in January, is the one that you save for 100 days. So say, for example, on day 90, you put $90. On day 10, you put $10. You just put money within sleeves. You can buy it on Amazon for like 10 bucks. Trust me, that's the best 10 bucks you'll waste. But within 100 days, you will have more than $5,000 saved. That's it. Guys, really, all that energy and all that motivation you have for paying off debt, use it for this. Use it for savings, because as long as you build a nice emergency fund, a very nice emergency fund, you will not get tempted to start spending your credit cards, or you will not get tempted to start dipping into an emergency account to cover all these little expenses that comes up. You really need an emergency fund, because trust me, as soon as your tire blows out, you're going to be like, great, you can dip into an emergency fund to pay for it, and that's going to take you some time to put money back. And you might get hit with that big expense, which will then make you turn around and use your credit cards. And remember this, guys, just because you're not paying off debt in the first 100 days, it doesn't mean you're technically not paying down debt. You're just not paying down so much towards debt. But your debt is decreasing. Never forget that. So now that you have your emergency fund, the next thing you want to do is zero in on your budget. You need to see exactly where your money is going. You don't need to be that strict. I get it. Some people just hate budgets because it's constraining you and it's the worst. But you need to at least know where your money is going, because there might be some subscriptions, or there might be certain things come out of your account that you might not be aware of. Also, you might have some bills that now you completely paid off. You want to know where you can take that money and where you can allocate it. But you just need to understand where your money is going. You see, this is the key with money. Money needs to be managed. Simple as that. Some people just hate dealing with money. They hate the concept of budgeting, but money needs to be managed, because if you don't manage money, it will find a way to leave your wallet. Now that you got your emergency fund, and now that you got your budget, now it's time to pick a debt payoff plan. There's so many you can choose from, okay? It really depends on your personality. If you're someone that needs the small wins right away, the debt snowball is the best approach, which is you pay off the smallest balance, and then once you finish with that, you take that money, moving on to the next, and any side hustle or any extra money you get, you put towards the debt. Now, that is one of the ways that has been proven, and it works. And this is the reason why having an emergency fund is extremely important, because you could put all your money into debt because now you know you have money saved for emergencies. Now, the avalanche is paying any loans or credit cards by the highest interest rate. I personally and mathematically, that is the best approach to choose, right? Especially if you have a credit card and you're like, man, this balance is never going down. It feels like it's forever. Most likely because you have a very high interest rate and you have a very large balance. Tackle that one first. Because once you see that you get rid of those high interest rates first, like, wow, they're actually moving. I see it going down. That would keep you motivated. Which one you choose doesn't really matter. As long as it's one that you feel comfortable with and you know you can continue doing. Because remember, this is not a sprint. Not a sprint at all. This is a marathon, which leads me to my next tip. You need to recognize this. And this got me so many times because I get extremely excited and I put all my energy into it. And mentally, I'm saying to myself, this is going to be paid off within 5 months. I didn't write it down. I didn't say how I was going to do it. I just said I'm going to do it and I went for it. Yeah, don't do that. That sets you up for disaster. You really need to be as honest as possible and write down and have a goal to how long you expect to pay this off. And be smart about it. For example, if you know you can only put $500, towards your debt a month, then make a goal, within 6 months, you could put $3,000 paying towards your credit cards. And if you put more than that, then great. But don't say after you only can pay $500 extra a month towards your cards, I want to pay $10,000 of credit cards in 6 months. Don't do that. You're setting yourself up for failure. You're going to burn yourself out and it's going to be horrible. In my opinion, just do it slowly. Say 500 and then try to, in the same time, find ways to increase your income. And throughout time, you might get wage increases. You might get bonuses. You might get a tax refund. You might get this crazy amount of money coming out of anywhere. Put that towards the debt. Okay, you might start wanting to do Uber Eats, DoorDash, side hustles. Put that towards the debt. That way you can reach your goal a lot faster. But don't set yourself up saying, well, in the future, I'm going to make so much money so I know that I could pay off $10,000 because 2 months from now, don't do that. You're really going to set yourself up. Now, the next tip is this. Some people actually already have a savings account. Some people already build their emergency fund, they have a savings, and they have that set. But they're tired of the debt. So the number one thing they do is to take the money from a savings account and dump it to the debt. Don't do that. You see, an emergency fund and a savings account is there for emergencies. That is your cushion in case you get laid off or you have any type of emergencies in your house or repairs. That will make sure you do not dip back into your credit cards to cover emergencies. So you do not want to empty out your savings account. Oh, trust me, it's really tempting because as soon as you do that, you're like, yay, look, I only got 50% of my debt left. But not really, because all you're doing now is putting yourself into a bigger risk. And now you're going to end up using your credit cards again and put you in a worse bind. Now, my next tip is this, and this is the one that gets so many people. You got to really pay attention to your emotional spending. Unfortunately, that is a thing, and it's a big thing, and sometimes you will not even notice it. After a week, when you get paid, your dopamine is hitting, you are super excited, you just want to spend money. You start forgetting about the debt payoff plan. You start saying, you know what, I'm going to pause and take a break because if I take a break, then I could come back rejuvenated, and then you start spending all this money, and then you end up just going right back to the same cycle you was in before. You got to stick to this. You really have to stick to this and pay attention to your emotions because now you're a whole new person, but your old self is going to be battling with yourself because it remembers those days where it felt so good to swipe a credit card and get that hit and get that instant gratification at that moment. So you're going to be in a battle. You're going to be in a battle with what you're trying to be and what you were. And that is not simple. Trust me, you might, New Year's, ball drops, now I'm a new person. Doesn't work that way. How many times you see people go to the gym for 30 days and after that, empty? I've been going to the gym for 18 years and that cycle has been continuously going on. People go to the gym at the beginning of the year and they drop out. I don't want you to do that. That's why I really highly recommend you check your emotions and listen, I know that when it comes to credit cards, I just get really impulsive and I'm going to use it. I'm going to go out with no credit cards. I'm going to have my debit card and that's it. You need to really put barriers in place that will allow you to not get back into the path that you were in before. So there you have it, guys. I'm super excited for you, but those are the tips that you certainly need to follow if you want to pay off debt once and for all. I know this is probably like the 10th time you're trying to pay off your debt. The new year, new you, and it ends up being new year, same you, and most likely even worse than you were before. But that's okay. You just gotta admit your mistakes, and as soon as you admit it, you can learn from it, and you keep on growing, and then eventually you be debt-free, extremely happy, start investing, become a multi-millionaire, and that's just the way it's gonna be.